Welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast, your number one opinion source for all things entertainment. Join host Marco Mazzola as he sounds off on the latest movies, TV, music, gaming, comic books, and more. Now, here's the man of the hour, Marco Mazzola.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast. I am, as always, your host, Marco Mazzola, and today we have with us our bevy of ranters. Let's say hello with Bruno.
To infinity.
And beyond. Larry.
Hey.
Larry Legend. And Mila.
Heyo.
Heyo. All right, gang, so today we are talking about Lightyear. Everything okay over there?
I was just hearing some feedback.
All right, let's see if we can't fix that. All right, gang, we are talking about Lightyear from Pixar. I got confused. I was talking to Larry about this earlier. I missed the opening. I might have been cleaning. After my son, I missed the opening of where they said what this movie basically is about. Because the trailers had confused the shit out of me as to how this movie was a thing of the future of this guy who they really made it look like this was an actual person. You know, way in the future, but then Andy has a toy of this guy from a TV show. So we saw in the beginning that this is an actual movie, just like any regular movie that I guess must have spawned the TV show, right? The cartoon, whatever they had that you saw in Toy Story.
The whole that trailer, the words at the beginning said this is a movie they went to see.
Yeah.
And that inspired him to get them the toy.
Yeah.
They didn't even talk about the TV show.
But they didn't watch we should talk about that because that in Toy Story you see like the TV show. Like you see them seeing it.
Yeah,
which is
it wasn't a TV show. It was an advertisement for the toy.
Was it just that?
Yeah.
Because they talk about the TV show all the
it
time.
was like, and this toy with lights and real-looking laser, and then that's when he realizes.
Is it in Toy Story? It's one of them they actually talk about the TV show, though.
I don't recall a TV show.
No, I don't think they ever talked about it. There was a TV show, but I don't think
maybe it's not in the first one. I'll have to go back and look.
I don't remember a TV show mentioned.
No, I don't think they ever mentioned the TV show. Unless
so that makes it weirder than like why didn't we were talking about this earlier? Why didn't the guy who was in the movie do the voice for the doll?
Because Chris Evans was too busy filming Fantastic Four?
It might have been way back when, right?
My question is, why didn't they get
Tim Allen? Yeah.
Which
everybody
thought about
really
that.
complained about.
Is there a reason or like?
I mean, they were kind of like they put it out there of like, it's a movie. This is the movie, and this other actor did the movie. The actual actor did the movie, right? Like this wasn't supposed to be a quote unquote animation movie. This was like a real live action movie, right? And this is the actor who did it.
And that's fine.
Chris Evans doing the voice of Buzz.
Oh, like this is a live
action
movie.
Right.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is Pixar World, so
right. Yeah. So it's a live action movie, and this is the actor who did it, and that actor didn't do the voice of the doll, and that happens sometimes, but a lot of times they get somebody who really sounds like the actor. Right.
Well,
so, for instance, the dolls that they use for Woody is not Tom Hanks; it's his brother. Most of the time, they call his brother, who sounds very much like him. They call him in to record the voice things for the dolls for Woody.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks has said that on.
But on the other side of the coin, it didn't really bother me. I know half of the internet was up in arms about it, and I'll be honest. When I first saw the trailer for Lightyear, I thought, well, that's not Tim Allen.
It doesn't.
But in the movie, in the context of the way they did it, I was like, oh, totally fine.
That's how I felt too. I was wondering if it was going to bother me as much that it wasn't Tim Allen. But as I'm listening to it, I was like, actually, it doesn't sound too far off of Tim Allen. Yeah. And after you're watching it for like 15 minutes,
you get past it.
You get so past it.
You're into the story. You're not really worried about it anymore.
Right.
You stop thinking about it.
It stops like mattering.
Because I did think about it in the beginning. I didn't
feel like
beginning, but then by the time I even thought I'm not even noticing anymore.
I actually forgot, and I realized like an hour after the movie, I was like, wait a minute, that's not the same guy.
That's not the same guy. But it actually, it kind of sounds similar.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why it was it was easy to pass.
Chris Evans did a really good job.
He did.
I liked the way he did it, and at times he sounded a little bit like Tim Allen.
Like just the emphasis on the syllable.
Yes.
Sometimes. I thought. Look, voice actors are voice actors. When you see,
It didn't bother me.
Yeah. And it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I like
No,
it.
I agree.
I'm cool
I
with
agree.
But if you look at the internet, everybody wants to
Oh, they were up in arms.
oh my God. Like,
They
get
were
over it.
definitely
The
Big deal.
internet
Yeah.
loves to do that, don't
Like,
they?
it would have been nice to see Tim Allen or hear Tim
Sure.
Allen's
Yeah.
voice in there, but it didn't happen, and Chris Evans did a great job. I was like, I don't care
You know
that
what?
much.
If we were
Yeah.
going to have Tim Allen as one of the voices, it would have been great to see him voice Zurg.
Yeah,
that would've been
that's what I was
great.
thinking.
That would
Actually,
that
that's
would have
exactly
been
what I was
perfect
thinking.
because
Yeah.
Tim
I
Allen's got
agree.
the. I mean, Tim Allen's obviously older than Chris Evans,
Yeah.
right? So it would have been good when he sees Zurg. I mean, and I know we're jumping kind of towards the last quarter of the movie, but it would have been great that when we find out who Zurg is, and it's actually Lightyear just in the future, it would have been really
Spoiler
cool.
alert.
Spoiler, yeah, if you haven't seen it, sorry about your bad luck.
Watch it. Don't watch
Right.
it. Watch the movie.
It would have been cool to have Tim Allen's voice there,
Yeah.
because then that would have kind of like wrapped it up. That would have been like a little nod, a little fan service. And I would have been okay with that. That would have been awesome,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I would have been really
But
cool.
then it was like,
it would have been
what
nice,
was it
but
again?
and they had a couple of like
James
after
Brolin.
credit scenes that
Oh,
I think
yeah.
were stupid. The after credit scenes were kind of like they were
Those
just
are pretty
dumb.
lame.
They were just
Those
like,
are actually
Well, that
really
robot,
subpar.
I was like,
Yeah.
this is not even a funny joke after the first,
Yeah.
yeah.
15
Like he goes,
seconds.
Yeah,
laser
it was.
shields. Like I'm supposed to chuckle. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, but yeah.
We had
I thought you put that
the
up.
general guy who was like sitting back drinking his coffee. One of the bugs hits the laser shield. He's like, "Oh, laser shields," and he drinks his coffee. It's like, okay, that's whatever.
I'm like, wow.
Okay, this is
The
the
only
look of
one-
somebody
the
who
only-
didn't stick around for it.
Oh, Jesus
Don't worry,
Christ.
it
Haven't you
wasn't
been
really
watching
worth
Marvel
it.
movies for
No,
the last 13
and I
years?
thought about it, but
I can stick around and watch a movie. What
At
do you
this
have to do?
point, I was watching The Sopranos. At this point, I was like, all
Watch
right,
Sopranos. That's relevant and timely.
listen, that's a great show.
It's a fantastic show 20 years ago. So,
Today, we're on like season 3, episode 11 or something like
Oh,
that.
boy.
We're rewatching the series. No, but like, no, at the end of it, I was like, all right, cool, movie's over. I was
so
like,
the
all
very
right.
end, you get Zurg, right? He's alive.
Yeah.
You get the old the lights go on in the
Like
helmet.
they're gonna
It's like,
make
okay,
it-
they're gonna make a second one. Like they leave it open for a second one.
Oh, okay.
At the end of it, which
That's
is
cool.
fine.
That was fine.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I mean, they changed, they retconned who Zurg was, right? In
Right,
the
completely.
movie.
Yeah.
In the original Toy Story, he's like, I'm your father, like as a Star Wars
Yeah.
joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I thought at the time was really good. That's really cute.
Yeah.
And then here they're like, nope,
It's you.
he's you.
Didn't they reference that? Like he go, oh yeah, they refereed that. He goes, Dad, and he goes, no.
Yeah, that's right. He was
It's-
like, Dad,
I
he was
mean-
like, no, I'm actually you.
Yeah.
He was an older version
That
of
was,
him.
that
Yeah.
was
Well,
pretty good.
I mean, they played on that.
Yeah.
I thought that whole it being an older version of him was super lame.
Yeah.
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 You know, I get it. They're
He's
kind of
just
like,
fighting
you're
himself
your
with
own
the
worst
crystal.
enemy, but
But like,
I really think they could have done a better job of coming
Yeah,
up with a
explain to
better
me because
reason.
I felt like an idiot watching that. Shut up. I felt like an idiot watching that. Like the whole like time difference when he went back and forward, but it's him, but it's not the same timeline. Him. Like that was like some time travel shit that gets really fucking murky.
Yeah, I
for no
thought the
good
same
reason.
thing. I was like, I don't
Like this is him
know.
from the future, but it's not his future because the things that our Buzz we've been watching happen didn't happen to this older Buzz.
Well, he's saying this is a new timeline,
Yeah.
right? And so that whole time dilation that they do in the movie is real. Like that is
Yeah.
This is why we bring Bruno.
exactly how
Physics
it
going.
works. I haven't actually done the calculations.
That's
to
how
see
time
if
travel
4
works?
minutes-
Oh man, you had time. 3 days.
Yeah.
We switched gears.
That is how time travel works. You can travel forward in time, no problem, as long as you can get close to the speed of light.
yep.
For real.
All right, that's
Well, what
some-
about
that-
back?
that-
Larry,
that's some
are
other
you-
level
are,
of shit.
Are you learning
What about
this
back?
just now?
No, I just
So,
I think time
you
travel
know,
is just.
There are a lot of reasons why they think
don't
maybe we can't go back in time because there's a lot of, first you got the paradox. Like you could go, what if you went back in time and killed your grandfather and you'd never be born? To go back in time to kill your
fucking
grandfather.
But they
They explain that in Umbrella Academy.
The Umbrella
And Back to
Academy
the
is
Future.
really good. I mean, so there are a lot of different theories on that. Like, well, maybe it's that you don't go back to your time back there. So you kill your grandfather, but that's a grandfather from a different timeline.
The multiverse.
The multiverse. And so the whole multiverse thing is a real concept within physics now where they're saying, well, because in the quantum world, they're thinking there's a possibility that we live in a multiverse with infinite possibilities.
Laying on top of each other,
different
just
verses.
vibrating at a different frequency, right?
Yeah.
They don't say on top of each other. They talk about being super close.
Okay.
So, and then they're talking about
Slightly to the left.
yeah. So they're talking about like it's like almost call it a membrane is what they're talking about. And so this membrane vibrates next to the next one, and
There's the dreams.
sometimes when they touch, it can create like a cooler part of the universe. So there's something called the cosmic microwave background. I don't know if you heard the CMB. Anyway, so if you look that up, you'll see it's basically...
Wait, CMB, you mean Color Me Bad?
Color Me Bad. It's light coming from the Big Bang, essentially.
Okay.
Right? And so it's cooled down so much that it's like 2 degrees Kelvin. It's like super, super cold. But when they have like cold spots within that, there's a theory, and it may not be the right theory.
Where ghosts come from.
That another like multiverse membrane collided with ours at that point and then sort of bounced off, and that caused a cooler... There's a lot of cool shit out there. There's a lot of cool shit.
That's
time
like,
travel.
to me, that's just some wild science shit that goes like...
I'm like thinking of myself in the other universe. I have a bigger bank account.
Yeah.
There's I'm taller.
When you got up today, you
like
and you decided to wear, white socks instead of gray socks. Like, there's another universe where you chose the gray ones. I'm
not funny in my
thinking
dreams.
about this kind of stuff blows my mind because like sometimes I'll like zone out. I'll think about it. I'll be like, well, what if like that like picture frame is slightly crooked? That's a whole nother universe. What if like some kid over there is wearing a pink shirt instead of a white shirt?
Well, they theorize that it's on decisions that you make as opposed to just like that being crooked or something. But that might have been crooked from a decision that you made.
Something
yeah.
else,
Yeah.
That's super cool.
It's neat, but the time dilation they go through where he flies for 4 minutes, at hyperspeed is real. So he spent 4 minutes out there. They're saying it was like 4 years.
It was 4 years,
Yeah, it was actually 4 years.
I don't.
It's like the last one where he
That's
actually hits hyperspace, and it's like 25
22 years. Yeah.
Hmm.
I haven't done the math on that, but it's not hard to do, and you can determine whether 4 minutes is enough.
He'll take care of it during the break.
I could probably do that.
It's not hard to figure out the math of hyperspace and time travel. Bruno, there are people who have hard enough time figuring out...
An analog clock.
No, it's like there's people out there who can't figure out if 2 plus 4 times 6, like
30.
They can't figure out order of operation, and you're saying that doing this math isn't hard. God bless you.
I'm not saying it's not hard per se. It's just it's not a super complicated equation
When it comes to physics.
Yeah.
But for the average person,
speed versus relative mass.
Yes.
Speed of light and how much time.
God bless the people who can't figure out their left from their right. Bruno's over here calculating time and space. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm still
we might need to change the name of the podcast.
Supposed to get that physics credit.
You still work That is awesome. All right.
Give the man his credit.
It's good stuff.
So what do we think of the story in general? Larry and I were talking about this earlier. Like, it just kind of like doesn't go anywhere. Like, it's just...
What do you mean?
It's like, it's him on the planet. I get what they're doing. It's a lot of like, just passing through the time. I don't know. Like, it seemed like the adventure wasn't...
You're saying it was a little bit slow? Like, the story was not action-packed?
Yeah, it was a little bit of like that. Like, I wanted more. I didn't hate the movie, so I'm not trying to sit here and say I actually enjoyed the movie.
I enjoyed it, too.
I liked the movie. Yeah. I don't know this is a movie I would go back and watch again and again, right? Like, I've seen it once.
Yeah, there was a lot of complication to it.
Yeah, I'm glad I saw it. I'm also glad I saw it the first time to do the podcast, so I don't necessarily have to go back and watch it again to get more out of it. You know what I mean? Again... However, it is a movie that said, like, when my son's older and he's like, I want to watch that movie, fine, we'll watch it. Okay, let's watch. I'll have no problem with that. Yeah, we can watch it again. I would enjoy it. I wouldn't sit there grumbling that I had to watch it again.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the movie was enjoyable. I enjoyed it. Like, obviously the Pixar animation is fantastic. It's Pixar.
Oh my God.
Keep on getting better and better, sure.
Yeah, but that aside, I felt like there were a lot of decisions they made story-wise that were kind of like, why did they land the entire ship on the planet when you're just investigating the planet? Why not send a probe? Yeah. An away team with some red shirts that maybe some of them got.
Well, they had a red shirt. He was just in brown.
Yeah, exactly.
They had the rookie.
Send an away team. Let's check out this planet. But like,
a recon team,
because their original mission wasn't to stop there. He even said like something was identified on the planet as a living organism. Like, why would you go down there with the entire ship?
Yeah, put everybody at risk.
Everybody,
right?
Yeah. We're all the sleeping scientists at risk.
Yeah, everybody's asleep. Let's leave the ship. They'll be fine.
They'll be fine.
Don't worry about it. Big turnip.
The alarm on. We're good. We locked it. Everybody remember where we parked. Ooh, time for my medication. What do you got going there, Larry?
That would be my ring.
Time for the meds.
Somebody's at my front door.
Which reminds me, I probably should put my phone on silent because I'm going to hear my kid laughing. There we go.
There we go.
I changed my ringtone. It's a series of my child laughing. It's the best ringtone I've ever had. It's really super cool. Anyway, so yeah, you're right. They land the entire ship for no good reason, just to move the story along, to put them in peril, so they all are now stuck on this planet with the vines and the bugs.
Yeah.
You know, I thought they were going to do something with Featherington, whatever his name was.
The rookie.
Like
That
the
was
rookie.
funny.
I actually thought...
I like how he had trouble pronouncing it. Feathering.
Rookie.
I actually thought he was going to turn out to be Zurg somehow through some weird thing.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be Zurg. I was like,
a rookie.
Because I was kind of making a joke of myself. I'm
Get taken out by the
look,
vines.
they just completely left his character.
Well,
Like,
eventually he passed on because he moved so far in the future, right?
well,
Like,
yeah,
he was
but
gone.
like,
Sure.
you didn't
Everybody
even,
kinda
you didn't
died
even
while he
pass
was in
in
that
the
last route.
background. Like he was just
Like he was a non-existing
No,
character.
he lived to the end, right? He was in the end. He was just
No.
really old.
No, Featherington, whatever. He
Chin-
never showed up ever again. I was
Chin-
looking for him.
Yeah.
He never came up.
Sworn that last one he was
No.
there. He was like a white hair and like,
No, I don't
No.
think
was
he
that, or was
ever.
that one of the
Never
previous?
showed up.
I don't recall him showing up either. Yeah.
Like
Yeah, no,
never again.
After that, it was a wrap.
Other than the stupid joke to like look at the suit name.
Oh,
Yeah.
and
more
she like goes,
Taika
"Oh,
Waititi."
it's this Featherington."
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like,
Can I just say that I'm a little sick of Taika Waititi?
oh
Yes,
my
you
gosh,
can
yes,
say that.
Yes,
Well,
you
and
can.
we'll get to that because of Thor
Yeah.
4. I think
Yeah.
you like really get enough of him.
Yeah,
We'll
I'm
get to that
kind
more
of
than
sick of
when
him.
we review Thor 4 today.
than
We'll do that
enough.
later.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I
He's kind of
agree.
everywhere.
Yeah.
I felt the same way, Bruno.
Yeah.
In all seriousness.
When
Oh
I
my
heard him
God.
speak, I was like, "Who is that? Who is that? I know that
You
guy."
know, I
Yeah,
knew right
yeah.
off the bat. I
And then
hadn't
2 minutes
seen the
later, I was
credits.
like,
And I'm
"God
like-
damn, that's Taika."
I
no, I
didn't
knew it
even
right
have to
away.
look it up.
Yeah,
I
no,
knew
neither.
exactly. I went,
Exactly.
shit.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
I
in
didn't.
But I can't watch one movie without him like
Yes.
voicing someone or
Yes.
showing up somewhere.
He's a really distinctive voice, right?
Yes,
Like-
yes,
yeah.
very much.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, totally. And it's kind of the same shtick every time.
Every time.
Yes.
He's kind of
If he-
That like
same-
nervous character who has like a
nervous,
few
twitchy,
good quips,
goofy.
you know?
Yeah. It is. Even when he did what's the movie he did? The Free Guy. Free Guy.
Guy.
Was insane.
He was in that too?
He was an ass. Yeah, he was the
I didn't
boss.
realize that.
Although he was a different guy in that. I mean, obviously
Well,
his
he
voice
still
is
had that
very
over-
recognizable.
So I think what it was is
I didn't mind that
Oh yeah!
character.
Oh my
He
god!
was
Yeah,
the boss.
no, I just remembered.
So
yeah.
He was
I
meant
like,
to be
what is he?
overly obnoxious in that
Right.
role, and that's kind of his
But-
thing. He's overly obnoxious all the time.
but in opposed to other movies where it's that trying to be like that overly over
He's
the top funny,
Yeah.
where it's like, all right, dude, that's kind of annoying. And the Free Guy, he was over the top. He was an asshole. It's like,
that was-
that works.
I like
Yeah.
that works.
Yeah.
That kind of thing
Yes.
that he
I feel like
brings,
he-
I think that works as
Yes.
a bad guy. Like
Yeah.
he
He
like
works
that
better
boss.
with like
Awesome.
variety.
Larry's exactly right.
You know, but if he keeps playing the same character, like sometimes that works. That works very well
Right,
for
but you
some,
can't hit it in every
some
movie.
people.
You just say it's like Nick
Yeah.
Cage. Like
Yeah.
Nick Cage finally just sort of like leaned into the fact that he's Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
And
He
including the fact
finally
that his new
is
movie,
just
he's
him.
playing himself.
He's playing himself.
But he just plays that obnoxious, over the top character now all the time
Yeah.
because he leaned into it and said, "This is where I'm going to make my money. I can't do the leading role serious man thing. Just play the
Yeah.
obnoxious, crazy, off the wall yelling."
I think
at the
Taika
kids.
is
Sometimes-
still
And
finding
everybody
it.
loves it. I'm going to make so much money doing this.
Yeah.
And Taika's going to kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to, though.
Yeah, no,
No, I don't
he's
think
probably
so.
gonna.
Taika's a director.
Because he's a director.
He's a director who wants little parts
Wants
here
his
and there.
stuff.
You know?
Yeah. Which
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think is okay as long as we don't get him in like everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely.
I'm
I'm
little
gonna
bit
direct it. I'm gonna
overloaded right
screenwrite.
now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I need a
produce it,
little less.
and I'm gonna be acting in it.
And I
not
might do the music.
And you know why not synthesize?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's a little too much. It's definitely a little too much. No, I agree. So we have the beginning of the movie. We meet Hawthorne, and then we go through her life, and then she kicks it.
Which is, you know what?
That was
I
actually
like that. I like that.
Yeah, I actually thought that was a really cool
That was
scene,
really
like
sweet.
seeing her get old and like
Yeah.
her son and stuff. Like
It was
that.
It was an extended version of Up. At the beginning
You
of
know
Up,
what?
where you
And that-
watch
Yeah.
the
and that-
thing
It was
you're
an
like, you're
up
meant to-
moment
Yeah,
kind
it
of
was.
thing.
I not hate, but watching the people just get old and die. I'm like, holy
Yeah.
shit!
It tugs at your heart,
different-
like,
doesn't
it's
it?
Yeah.
so depressed.
Yeah.
Like when I saw Up, I was so like I had to stop, pause,
Inconsolable.
and walk away and go. I can't believe I just watched that relationship.
That cartoon
And, like,
character die.
Like what the actual? Because it's like the story, and that shows you how strong the story was.
Yes,
that
because
they
the
put it out there.
animator
Yeah.
stopped animating.
Yeah, he was like, you know what?
Like,
I'm done
We
drawing.
stopped drawing that
No,
character,
it's-
and you're
it's
upset
that-
by it.
when it's
Yeah.
like that contrast from like slowly like watching their life together and seeing all the stuff that they collect, and then like such as in Lightyear the suddenly empty room.
Yeah.
Goes to.
And it was like, holy
my God,
shit.
no.
Yeah, and you saw her coming though. She every time
Oh,
comes
yeah.
back, she's a little older,
But
this isn't
still.
gonna go well if he
You're
keeps
like,
doing
oh,
this.
you
But
should
you know,
stop.
That's what Pixar does well, right? They do emotional movies.
Emotional
really well.
cartoons.
Yeah.
They're too good at that.
What?
They need to.
Yes,
But see, that's good writing. You
Yeah.
can make them stick figures. You'd still be like, oh my God, I can't believe that.
I
It's
can't-
done
I
wrong.
need to look the way I need a
Stick
second.
figures lying down now.
That's a hell of a flip book.
I mean,
I'm gonna do it in reverse. I'm flipping it in reverse. Fuck, it's coming back to life.
He's coming back
He's
to
a
life. Oh my
zombie.
God.
yeah. I mean, I'll
Yeah,
give
that'd be
Pixar
awesome.
that.
If you flipped it one way, it just looked normal, but when you did it backwards, it kind of looked like a zombie.
Yeah.
You didn't realize that going forward, that's a zombie.
But
No, that was
that
tough,
part of the
yeah.
story that I was like, oh, son of a bitch, you did it again.
He's sleepwalking.
Yeah.
Nope, he's a zombie. Flip
No,
it the other
he's a
way.
zombie. Other way. Flip it. Flip
God
it.
damn,
Flip
you
it.
got me.
Play the movie in reverse. Play it in reverse.
Like I feel that we've seen that story in other things too, right? Like watching your friends pass. I was trying to think of like recently I saw a movie, and oh, I'm lying. It wasn't a movie. I was listening to a story on a podcast about Wolverine, and that was something that Wolverine has gone on through years and years and years. And this particular podcast I'm listening to, they were like, how does
Give him a
it
shout out. What was the podcast?
Oh no, it was Marvel's Wastelands.
Okay.
It's done by SiriusXM.
Okay.
So it's like it's
Shout
not-
out to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
You liked it, so
Yeah,
no.
the Wastelands series is really good. They do a couple of them, like they do Wolverine. Basically, what that podcast is, it's the bad guys lost.
Yep.
The good guys lost. Bad guys now run the world. So there's like
Kind of like a what if.
kind of, yeah. You have President Red Skull. He runs New York.
President Red
Yeah.
Skull.
He's
Didn't we have President Orange Skull?
We did.
oh,
a little while
Right
ago.
across the bow. The entertainment podcast should stop political.
Too soon?
Too soon? No. No, it wasn't too soon 3 years ago.
Yeah. So every podcast, it's a different character. Like in the first one, it was Peter Quill. Peter Quill's now old, and it's just him and Raccoon.
Yeah.
So he comes back, and the area that he lives in is ruled by Doom. So it's like trying to build a rebellion, try to fight back Doom. So every different one has a different person. So I'm listening to the Wolverine one now, and he comes back. It's been 30 years, and he reunites with one of the people, this girl that he finds, and she's like, how does that feel? Oh my God, you're the Wolverine. Like, you're Wolverine. He's like, shh, don't tell people. And, she brings up a point. It was like, how does it feel? He goes, I don't have any friends. Because, so Wolverine, and it made me think, it's like, Wolverine's one of my favorite characters anyway. And he goes through all these years of, he makes friends, he loses friends because he doesn't age.
Right, he's just healing stuff.
Right,
It slows his aging down.
Right, so nobody really knows how old he is until he
Right.
gets to, like, even Old Man Logan, like, you're
Right.
not quite sure, right?
Yeah.
He'd be that old for a very long
Right.
time.
So when I was watching this, and now we bring it back. So when I was watching it, that's what made it made me think of that. It's like, here he is, like poor Lightyear.
Yeah.
He's trying to fix his error, but by trying to fix his error, he's literally missing out on life, and he's watching all these people, and his
Friends,
best friend
yeah.
Hawthorne, he watches her get old and then pass. And I was
And doesn't
like,
really get involved in any of those great things that happen in her life,
Right.
like being
Yeah.
her wife and having the kids and the grandkids.
Right,
and
right,
he misses
right,
out
right.
on all of that stuff
No.
just to kind of fix his mistake.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was rough. But still, and like you said, Pixar does an amazing job of like making you care, making you involved in it. You know what I mean? Even if there was some parts of the movie that were kind of lacking, it does tug on your heartstrings and makes you really like. It made me care about Buzz in a very different way than the Toy Story movies ever did.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He was just kind of like this obnoxious dude running around.
You almost like humanize him,
He's,
right?
Yeah.
self-absorbed.
Yeah.
the whole time.
I think it was good that they made a movie where the Buzz character was a little more serious, right?
Yeah.
Because in the
Toy Story, he's
he
a
was
toy.
Yeah.
toy, right? He was a
Yeah.
goofball. He was like almost a caricature of
Because
the
that's
real
what the toy
guy.
is,
Yeah.
And that makes
Yeah.
sense to me. So like I felt like I saw some criticism online, like, hey, it wasn't supposed to be so serious. Like, this is a toy made from a guy.
Yeah,
so
from a
I don't
movie.
see it worked for me.
Right, yeah, no,
Yeah.
exactly.
It makes
exactly.
sense. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely dug that part of it. So
Yeah, because you would see a toy being not knowing is a toy, and he's like, "I am Star Command," and so you would expect a toy to be that because that's how he was built.
yeah,
Everything
That's right.
his character
That's right.
is just blown to like 100.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a toy out of it. Absolutely,
Yeah.
I like the connections though. Like when he's narrating himself. And she's
Yeah.
like, "What are you doing? You narrating? What are you doing?" Because he
you know
does
nobody
that
listens to
constantly in
that.
Toy Story, right? He's always narrating what's going on.
Yeah.
So to see that the movie does
A lot
that, he
of
flicks
good
the thing.
callbacks there.
A lot of
right?
great
Yes.
callbacks.
A lot
in this.
of that stuff where
Yeah.
the toy was mimicking what was in the movie. You know,
Yes.
he was like, "You're mocking me, aren't you?" And,
Yeah.
You know, and stuff like that. I really enjoyed that. I
Yeah.
thought they did a good job with the callbacks.
I
Yeah.
especially liked when they pulled out the wings, like
Yeah.
the jetpack.
Yes.
I was like,
The whole movie, like, where's
Yes,
his
the
wings? Where's his
jetpack.
wings?
Yeah.
Larry had that as a note. You took Larry's notes, didn't you? So he does
Son of
that.
a
That was
gun.
amazing. He pops that. You see it like clamped to him, and the wings pop
Yeah,
out.
and then it's
by
like
the end, you have the actual
Actual
suit.
Which
So
was
that was one thing I
awesome.
liked is watching
That was
this.
awesome.
And I'll talk about this in a minute, though. But like watching the development of the ships that he's using and the suits that he's using, right? Because every time he comes back, it's 4 years later. So the people on the planet are developing stuff while he's away.
Yeah.
So every time he comes back, he's already out of date.
Yep.
You know, the technology he's using, the ship, the suit, everything's out of date already by 4 years minimum.
Yeah.
Right? Until the last one, he's like 22 years out of date, which is incredible. So I'll talk about that. So I like the fact that by the end of it, he has the actual Buzz Lightyear costume and things like that. And just a side note, if you see, I think Hot Toys is done. I see the slideshow of Hot Toys, they did a new figure for it. It looks amazing. They did a Hot Toys figure for the Buzz.
Yeah, but I feel the
for the
Hot
movie
Toys stuff, though, they do
for the
amazing
movie
jobs,
Buzz.
yeah.
It's incredible. And it comes with socks.
Oh,
We'll
nice.
get to socks in a second. It is incredible, the figures. Like, it's like I haven't collected any of those in a long time
No.
because A, they're expensive and B, in no room for them. And I'm like, if I get into it, like this is just a slippery slope.
You don't say podcast. I mean, pop figures.
Yeah, that's one. I figure like I could get that one, and it doesn't lead to anything else because there isn't any other thing else in that line. So who cares? I just have that one. It was really cool looking. So if you have a chance to look it up. Okay, let's go back to socks.
Yes.
What's our thoughts on socks?
Why was Sox be able to calculate and figure out what the right fuel mixture was?
because he's a
Took him
robot,
22
and it
years.
took
Took him
him
a long
like
time.
It,
Yeah,
it
but like-
took him like 62 years or something like that.
He was kind of a representation of their lowest form of technology, right? Was it? They had
Was
a
he? Oh, they was like
space-
the highest form.
They
Almost.
had a
Like, he had fucking
spaceship.
everything.
The turnip was this super hyper advanced spaceship. Why didn't the spaceship have the formula? Like they were already using
Yeah,
the fuel.
but they were
Yeah.
using that fuel. They were using the fuel that they had from where they were,
But why
and
not-
that was the thing is they
then
had
why
to
not
use.
apply
They had
the-
to create fuel from what was the development on that planet.
All I'm
Oh,
saying
yeah.
is, here's a cat that is like an AI
Yeah.
that was given an
Like
assignment.
Larry said, it took a long time for it to
Yeah,
calculate.
but this AI took 62 years to figure out the right formula. Their entire spaceship probably had a much more powerful AI on it. They probably could have done it in a matter of hours or days.
But that wouldn't help the story. We need socks to figure it out.
It just didn't make
Because if
sense
socks
to me.
We
didn't
need
figure
the
out how
cute
does
Pixar
Buzz
catch
get
right
it,
there.
Technology-wise,
And
it did not
escape.
make sense to me.
So I think I'm gonna have. I get what you're saying because that was part of my thing. So I'm like, I don't wait.
Like,
what?
you assigned it to the cat?
So
Well, he did.
so I think
And nobody else
Kind of.
thought of
Did he
this?
really do
Yeah,
it? Or the socks just
so-
kind of like, I'll do it.
No,
he said-
No,
he
he
said
said- he
figure it
told
out.
him.
He said, I'll be back
Yeah.
in 4 years working on the fuel.
Yeah. So I think what it is so when he first gets socks, socks isn't supposed to be the lowest form because it was like this new thing that they developed, right?
Yeah, little partner, you can.
So when he first gets him, he's not the lowest. He's like this high AI, and I think what it is it updates itself, right? So that's why by the time he gets to the end, he's still kicking around because he just keeps updating himself. So he's
Yeah.
not going to be the lowest.
He's downloading the new firmware every
Yeah,
3 days.
so
It's
he-
like
yeah,
Apple
Who's
products.
creating that firmware?
Somebody is
Somebody's after like the old Buzz splits. Who knows?
right. What I think so to your point is how come they
Call him
couldn't
Raggedy
create
Socks.
this by themselves? I think because they didn't have any specific person assigned to that one job because everybody was they didn't have time to
All right,
do it.
hear me out.
So now Socks, he
Hear
was
me
like,
out.
Socks, your
They-
only job for the next 4 years is to do this.
Yeah, but
Okay, go.
they had one goal, right? Was to create this fuel. That's
No,
the
that
only-
was his goal.
No, him and Hawthorne were both like, we don't have the
But at
fuel.
some point, didn't they give it up? Then they're kind of like, we're just going to stay
Well,
here.
no, yeah,
No,
but
remember
like
his
that was way
testing?
near the end.
Dude,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
every time he shot up in the rocket, he was testing a new fuel.
Yeah.
So they must have been working on it, and then all of a
Right.
sudden the cat's
But
like,
the
boom, I
last
got
time
it.
he came back, they're like, no, you're not going back up again. You're done because we're not dealing with it anymore. We're just going to stay here.
I know,
but that was the last. I see where
but
Bruno's
that's
coming
when
from.
Sox had the new formula.
Yeah, but Sox, you're saying Sox was working independently on the formula.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were also creating the formula somehow.
Yeah.
How come all of their genius scientists and
Because
AI on the ship
I don't
and
know.
powerful computing
I get
power?
what you're saying.
Didn't
But at some
create
point
the void,
they
and
gave it
then-
up.
and
At
then
some
it-
point they stopped trying and Sox didn't.
But they only stopped trying within the last 4 years. Because the last trip,
It was
over
it was
trip.
like the last 4 years is when they were like, all right, we're shutting
Yeah.
down.
yeah, because the last
That was
trip
the last-
he came back, she
Yeah.
was alive.
Yeah.
And she was like, good luck, here we go again. And he took off, and then he came back
And then she had passed.
That's right.
4 years later,
That's right.
and
That's
she
right.
passed.
That's right.
And they were like,
So
yeah,
they
well,
had,
he got the right
they had
formula in 68.
58 years of, their massive computers and genius people working on it, and the cat figured it out.
Yeah, figured it out. Cat's awesome.
I mean, it's a movie.
yeah.
Sox does everything.
You know what?
Yeah.
I get it, but like,
Fuck this movie.
No,
too.
it's a table
Yeah,
flipper.
flip the table.
You've convinced
Lightyear
me.
has
I'm
become
done.
a table flipper.
I mean,
It's terrible. No.
I mean, I like the movie.
You know
Don't get me
what
wrong.
though? Like I get what you're saying, Bruno, but in all seriousness, especially for these Pixar movies, like I never go into them looking for rationality,
Yeah.
or like things to make sense. I'm like, you know what? I don't even need a life lesson from these things. Like I'm not even looking for
Especially it's
that.
a kids
I
movie,
just
although
want
it
to
is
get
PG.
entertained.
Yeah.
But
At
still
the
a
end of
kids
the day.
movie.
Yeah.
Well, they may have to put a PG because there's probably like guns and people shooting and dying. So they're like,
Yeah.
all right, now we got to make it a PG. You know,
Yeah, it's
like
not G,
it's
G rating
not.
on it.
I mean, I didn't. We talked about this earlier. Like, I didn't take any like big moral thing out of this, except for the like you had said it. Hey, you know what? Be happy with what you have. Grass isn't always greener.
Yep.
You know, and I was like, all right, that's kind of true because I use that at work with some guys who are like, I don't want to be here, and I'm like, you may not want to leave this company or leave the current situation that you're in because sometimes the grass isn't always greener on the other side. You know, so
The grass is greener where you water it.
right, yeah, that's a great line. That really is, and so that's probably like the only thing I took from this movie. But so wondering how come Sox came up with a theory and nobody else
AI
did.
was not.
I thought his AI was pretty cool.
Plot.
Yeah,
Storyline.
I mean, whatever.
That's why Sox did it. It furthered the story.
He was very much a
The story
minion.
needed
Yeah.
it to be 58 years.
Yes.
So
Yeah. It absolutely did. I like that, and it to me like that. And don't yell at me. But this harkens back to the last, Nolan Batman. Like the only reason for Batman to take that much time off was for Gordon Levitt to grow up, to be an orphan.
Yeah.
Where Batman gives Bruce gives him the super secret orphan Annie wink that I'm Batman. He grows up to be a cop to fuck everybody up and put everybody up on the ground and screw up the whole city. That's the only reason Batman takes that much time off, was to allow his character to grow up.
sure.
That's it. It was a catalyst. That's it.
Yeah.
Whatever works.
Although it didn't work in that movie.
We'll
That's
find
for
some
fucking sure.
stupid reason, but this
That's
is
for
what
sure. It didn't work in that movie. Anyway, back to Lightyear. So the team, we got the team of the ragtag team. Like that's movie 101.
Yeah,
right.
that's
of
a
misfits.
junior squad.
The junior self-appointed
Junior- it's
squad
made of rookies.
saves the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got bad news.
What's the matter?
Their math was really bad.
Yeah.
You
So-
don't say.
They got it's an exponential scale. So when you get up to the speed of light, things start to slow down, but it really, really has a big impact when you get within like 90% of the speed of light. And he got to 70%, right? So if you
At the end, I think he got 90 when he nailed it.
when he nailed it, he hit 100.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
But so at 70% at the speed
Yeah.
of light, there's a contraction factor called the Lorentz factor, and that's
me.
And that's what you that's what
The Larry
you
factor,
use
yeah.
essentially to calculate. The difference in time spent with an observer at rest and an observer who's moving that fast. And so the Lorentz factor is only 1.4. So for a 4-minute ride, it would only have been like I'm approximating like 6 minutes on Earth.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She could have lived.
God damn it!
Oh because of bad math.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm going to throw a monkey wrench in your
We
plan.
did not take I did not factor in the gravitational effect of whatever planet they were flying
Yes.
around.
What is a year on that planet?
It's going to take about 58 years to.
We don't know.
No,
It's not Earth year.
They were asserting Earth years, I think.
Yeah. It seemed
they were-
like it.
Yeah,
They must have.
Yeah, I think they were just saying it's bad. They were just for ease. They were
Plot,
just saying
it's like
a year
Earth.
is a year.
So that's a good question. Of being a physics guy, that's a good question. On a different planet, do you age the same? Let's say you go to Mars, which has a different rotation around the sun than the Earth does, right? But we're still human. But do you age the same based on the environment that you're in, the gravity, the
assume
planet,
so.
things like that?
So there's a difference in how you talk about it, and there's a difference in reality, right? So a Martian day is slightly longer than an Earth day, or is it slightly shorter? It's a slight difference.
It's a slight difference.
So if you were to like count your days in Earth days versus Martian days, they'll be
on Mars.
They'll be off.
Calculated what the Earth's doing.
Yeah, they'll be off.
Calculate it that way.
But that's just a measure of like what are you using as your measuring stick, right?
Yeah.
But when you're in the presence of gravity, your clock moves differently than when you're out in space. So if you were to, and they've literally done this experiment when you take a clock, they've done like atomic clocks, you put one on Earth, you put one at the top of a mountain, and you just let them tick off. Let's say on Earth you let it tick off 24 hours exactly, boom. And then you bring the other one and you sync it up and you look at how much time has passed up there, and when you look at the time up there, they differ. So in a greater gravity, time moves slower. So you saw it in Interstellar when they went. Did you guys all see Interstellar?
No.
Yeah.
So in Interstellar, they actually travel really close to a black hole, which has like enormous amounts of gravity. And so because they were traveling so close to a black hole, they flew down to this planet that was close to the black hole. They spent like an hour on the planet. When they came back up to the spaceship that was further away, it had been 22 years.
Oh.
And that was
because the gravitational pull was so great that it slowed their time.
Because the gravitational impact was so great.
That's it.
Yeah,
Wow.
not that they were going quickly, right? According to the speed of light. So you can either slow down because you go so fast or slow down because you're in the presence of a heavy gravity.
Oh.
And so we're on Earth, which has a much greater gravity than Mars.
Yeah.
And so living on Earth, our time is slower. So if you were to, let's say, if you sent somebody to Earth and you send to Mars and then they come back in 10 years, their body would have aged a little bit more than 10 years.
Right. That's what I was
Because
wondering.
they were on Mars's gravity and you were on Earth's
that's what I was
gravity.
thinking.
So when you compare it, all the smaller planets going to have less gravity, so the time's going to travel a little faster.
So then that brings me back to Lightyear. They're on a different planet. They're aging different necessarily than they would have on Earth.
Yes, but everybody's
not
there.
that drastic. The 4 minutes. He was away. They're talking 4 years versus they really would have been 6 minutes.
They were saying that the gravitational. They were saying the aging was because of his speed. But he did fly really close to, it looked like maybe a sun.
Yeah, it looked like it was definitely a sun.
Yeah.
And so that sun's got enormous gravity. So that's absolutely something I didn't calculate in this. In my
math was wrong.
Well, we still have another 22 minutes left of the podcast, so get the fuck on it.
Yeah, but we don't
Get
know
on that, will ya?
We don't know the mass of that sun or that planet. I could probably
Big.
back into that
Type in
calculation.
big.
Type in big.
Big sun
Well,
size.
you now
What's the
have 21
equation?
minutes. You're spending time here.
What's
Let's
the equation
go.
for big sun size?
Either way, time
You're
dilation is
spending
real.
time. We need more audience to lose. Let's go.
They could have gotten around it. They could have gotten around it no problem if they had said, shoot around a black hole, because then you could just make that arbitrarily dense. But it's okay. It's fine.
Well, that star,
They
that
go
sun could
towards
also
this
be.
dense
concept-
sun.
The
But that
concept
sun,
of
how big
time
was it? You have no idea
dilation.
what the density of that sun was.
You don't know how
either,
big the sun was, and so it certainly could have been massive.
Real
Well, we didn't
big.
get to watch the trailer. Maybe it's in there.
Yeah. It's good stuff, though.
I think for story purposes, their math was absolutely spot
It was
on.
fine. It was fine.
No, it was flawless.
Yeah.
4 minutes of him traveling
In fact,
equated to
you know
4
what?
years.
I'm gonna
Your
see-
math
I'm gonna
sucks.
see how fast,
I think their math is
I'm going to
built for
see how
kids.
fast he would have
4 equals
had to
4.
get to.
Got it.
Let me see if I can figure out how fast he would have had to have gone to get that.
Pretty fast.
How long?
How do you?
So
not even.
he's busy.
Super, like
We got 20
mega
minutes left.
fast.
We got 20 minutes left. So, yeah, but like you said, for kids, 4 is 4.
Yeah.
He's gone 4 minutes. They aged 4
Yeah.
years. Got it.
Easy.
That kid
Easy
can
peasy.
grasp that
Easy math.
without having to break up Bruno's calculator. You know
When
what I mean?
watching this
Here
movie
we go again
through
with the damn
like
calculator.
the eyes of like some kid,
Yeah.
you go, "Damn, that was pretty good."
That's pretty awesome.
You
I'll
know?
buy into that. They can buy into
Although
that.
it still did kind of
No,
seem
and
slow, but
I'm a 46-year-old man. I bought into it nice.
Yeah, well,
That's
again,
great.
I'm like,
Because
damn,
I'm
4
not a
minutes, 4
physics
years.
major.
I got that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for the proper calculations and math. I'm like,
Bruno's a physics. That's what
I
he
know,
does.
but that's what he does.
It's an
So
occupational
brain,
hazard almost.
his brain goes there
Yeah,
whenever
but
he
like
sees things
for
like
me,
that.
I watched a
can't help it.
karate movie or martial arts movie
Exactly.
like that's bullshit.
Yeah.
That would
Yes.
never work. Yes, he's jump spinning this oil barrel, and it's jump kicking it away. No, his whole leg would
That's
be crushed.
not how that
That's
works.
That's not how that
baloney.
works at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. So it's the same thing as an occupational hazard.
Yeah.
Like, no,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I like the-
I'm
you know-
bumped
Oh,
out.
God, our places where we go when we watch a certain type of movie, and you go, "Ooh,
Yeah.
are you sure?"
That's how that works. I mean, there was a lot about this movie though that
A musician will
just
go
was good.
watch like a movie where they're playing drums. Like, nah, he's not really playing that.
Yeah, he's not really
Yeah,
playing.
yeah,
No
that's
way he's fucking playing
Yeah, I
that.
do.
That
Like
is
whenever
not
they
sticking
bring
up
out a
at
musical
all.
instrument, I'm like, no,
That's not
please
happening.
don't
That's
play
not
that because I know
Don't
you
play
won't.
that.
Or like a violin or like a
Yeah,
piano.
there's no way they're
And
playing
I'm
what's
like,
being played.
That's
They're
not
close to the right
right.
keys. Yeah, absolutely. So let's go to the ending. Since we got 20 minutes left, let's go to the and we can talk about. We talked about talking about other Pixar movies and kind of rating this in with the other Pixar movies. But let's talk about the ending. We touched on a little bit Zurg, which I thought was a funny reason why they were called the Zurgs.
Yeah,
Because the
because
robots
yeah,
couldn't
they couldn't say
they're,
buzz.
they're like Zurg, and they couldn't say anything. They couldn't say anything else. He's like, we're Zurgs. That's
It puts
what
a
we're called
funny
now.
picture in your head of him going like, "My name is Buzz," and they go,
We're Zurg.
"Zurg," and he goes, "No, but," and they go, "Buzz,"
Zurg.
and they go, "Z," and they go,
Zurg.
"Buzz," "Zurg," or
Zurg.
something.
Cool whip.
Well, cool whip.
Yeah.
Say whip. Whip.
So I thought it was funny
Say
though.
cool. Say whip. Say cool whip. Cool whip.
Cool whip. Cool whip.
Whip.
Whip. So it was funny because she says that the only sound they make is Zurg, 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 right? But when we actually see Zurg, he's like Buzz.
Yeah.
Buzz Lightyear, stay right there. And as soon as he said that, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Why can he say those?
Yeah.
Like he can say full words. And this is before, he goes up to the ship. We find out that it's actually just him.
Yeah.
But that's what made me go, wait a minute. Then you're not a robot then.
Yeah, at that point I figured out it was Buzz.
Oh, so I didn't
Yeah,
figure out it was
I-
Buzz,
I
but I
figured
figured
it was Buzz in
I
there,
knew
yeah.
I didn't know who it was, but I was like, there's something
This is the
behind
only
that.
person who could've been.
Yeah, about like halfway. I don't know. I just kind of like assumed there was probably someone controlling it.
I didn't until he spoke his name. When he spoke his name, like Buzz, like I'm like, all right, he's inside. It's him. It's the future. He's doing this whole time travel thing. It's just him from a different time travel. And I wasn't like disappointed by it. It's
Yeah,
just like,
I
all
was-
right, cool.
I was
All right,
fine
rock with him.
with
It's
that.
gonna be
Yeah,
kind
I
of
was-
fun
Yeah.
to
I
see
was
the big
fine with that.
reveal. And like here he comes out, and it was
Yeah.
kind of cool. He's got the gray hair and he's a little thinner, a little older.
Although I
James
wanted
Brolin.
by
like
the way.
a. Although I wanted like
Was
a.
it? Did they use his voice? I didn't know
Yeah.
if they used
James
Chris Evans.
Brolin, which is Josh Brolin's father.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Although I was really hoping for like a Featherington having like some sort of vendetta against Buzz
That-
for like
honestly,
Yeah.
that would've been
stranding him.
really cool.
That's
great.
what I was
That would've
expecting.
been
I was like,
awesome. I
oh
would've enjoyed
yeah, he's
that.
gonna go get, and then it's like, oh, who's this guy?
I feel like
him.
that would have been a little bit more in tune with the Toy Story movies.
Yeah.
If it was that way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like
Yeah.
backing into there because you never knew who Zurg was. And it was just this robot.
Because then
That
it'd be a
would've
cool
made more
callback,
sense.
and you go, he's alive.
Yeah.
It's him.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
And I never even learned his name, like stuff like that. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Pronounce
And you
his
go,
name.
oh no.
Oh no, it's
Oh,
Featherstein.
no.
Featherstein.
Feather, that guy.
Yeah, we talked about all the payoffs, like the jetpack,
Yeah.
which was awesome. The final suit,
Yeah.
awesome. I'm finally glad that we had a pen payoff.
You saw that coming a mile away.
But I
Yeah.
just
Fuckers
waited
on this
for
pen
it.
the
I'm
entire
like, look,
time.
But I was
They're
waiting
just
for
gonna
it to
use
see
the-
how they were going
Hurry
to
up
put
and
it
get to
in.
this pen payoff.
When they
Yeah, I was
finally did it, I was
getting
like,
kinda sick of that.
that's it.
It wasn't even a good pen payoff.
It was fine. I thought it was fine. Like he's not, he can't be the one big
could have blinked and
time
missed it.
saving the day. It's not going to completely like save the ship, but like, this took forever with that pen payoff.
I know. I was waiting to see.
Like maybe during like the cone prison scene, like maybe we could have had a pen payoff there.
Yeah, the
But,
cone.
like,
The
you know
cone
what I
scene
mean?
was kind of funny. I thought of the cone. It made me think of the hell's the movie with Steve Carell, which was a remake of an old TV show.
Get Smart.
Get Smart. Thank you. Where they had the Code of Silence.
Yes.
That's what it made me think of when I
Yeah.
saw it. I was like, oh, it's the Code of Silence, and then they just kept merging with each other. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, and that just actually that part makes me think. This was a movie. Not only is the morality of be happy with where you are,
Mm-hmm.
the grass is no, but it's also about teamwork because he wants to do everything himself.
Yes.
right. and they will, and they hit it a couple of times.
Yeah, they gotta really
you
beat
can't
him.
just do it by yourself. We have to do it as a team.
Which is what helps play. We were talking about the callback or the connection between him and the Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story, because he learned that lesson. He was so much independent, but then he learned how to have your best friend. You need people with you to help you. So it related that toy and his attitude to the movie. Like they had to do that.
Yeah.
Because that character, the Tim Allen character was so independent, like wanted to be, and he was the guy who was going to deal with everything. But then eventually he figured out, no, I need my friends around me.
Got a friend in me. Did we figure it out, Bruno?
All right, so
Bruno's got the calculations, lay out in some science.
I had to back into it a little bit.
That's what she said.
I did not account for the planet. All right, so the gravity of the planet. But if you were just going to travel at the speed of light to get a 4-minute to 4-year change, you'd need to be traveling 99.99999999887 roughly. The speed,
roughly my ass.
The speed of light in a vacuum, and that would give you a Lorentz factor of 665,161.846. So that's how much time would warp in that sort of multiplicative amount. Now that's only.
So how long?
So that means that you have to drive. You have to go really fast.
That would be his fourth.
Yeah.
That would be, and that's only gets you to like 3.97.
Years.
Years.
So
no,
fairly
minutes.
quick.
Minutes. It's like 3.9 minutes essentially. So he was saying 4 minutes. So it's roughly in that ballpark. But what you're really saying is you'd have to be traveling with no gravity and no slingshot around. You'd have to be going that fast to get that kind of. He'd essentially have achieved his goal to get that kind of warping.
Well, they said that was the idea. They needed to slingshot around to get enough velocity or enough force, speed, whatever. They needed that slingshot to go stupid fast.
It's Star Trek 4.
But and then just to have those 3 slowdown rings coming from the speed of light is absolutely insane.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Oh my god!
I saw that every time.
He would have splatted against the windshield.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's not dead.
You hit the first one, like,
kill
boom,
him.
and there's just a red spot on the windshield.
It slows you drastically each time.
Yeah, I mean, at least a third, or something like that.
You know that speed, slowing down instantaneously a third, you're done. Forget the other 2. You're done after the first one.
But that's science.
The other one is turning you back to the primordial ooze, and now you're in a fucking Mario Brothers movie. That's it. Callbacks are great.
Callback.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, the speed of light is 186,000 miles per second.
What?
Miles per second.
That's very quick.
186,000 miles per second. So, like,
Thank God we have animation. We don't have to put a real human through all this.
You're not going
Need
slowly.
some more actors, I guess.
You're not going slowly.
You're not going slowly. No, you're not.
You are not.
You don't
slow.
say. You're trying to you're trying to time travel. I don't think going slowly is part of the.
I'm obeying
You'd
the
be
speed
slowing
limits.
down by roughly 60,000 miles per second every time you hit one of those rings.
Jesus.
Less than a second.
Yeah, instantaneously.
You will be liquidized.
It'd be like hitting a wall at 60,000 miles per second.
You'll be a red mist. There won't be anything left.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing to
You'll
identify.
disintegrate with the
Nothing,
ship.
right?
Yeah.
That's it. It's a wrap.
Yeah, you'd be atomized.
Oh my God, it'd be ridiculous. But I mean, I can see how
Movie magic.
Now you can
It's
see
movie
it's
magic.
It's cartoons.
It's movie magic.
I'm going to take off that physics hat right now and it's a cartoon.
Because at the end of the day, like we talked about in the beginning, this isn't based on a real person. This is a movie. We're watching a movie of a movie.
Yeah.
Which makes the
You know
math
what I mean?
even
Like-
You gotta
less.
have like math that's sort of in the ballpark.
Nah.
Otherwise, it's just like, hey, we're using magic, and which is fine. You can use magic, but
Yeah, because it's a movie that
call it
spawned a
magic.
toy.
No,
Right? So it's a
Bruno,
made-up movie.
you don't understand.
Didn't you
They're
watch
in the
G.I. Joe
future.
cartoon?
let me give you an example of why. Right, so
In
let's
the
pretend
future,
you're
we can
watching
do
a
this.
regular movie. It's about a track meet. Right, and let's say it's a high school kid who goes to a track meet in this movie. In the track meet, the gun goes off, and he runs the 100 meters in 5 seconds.
Fast.
That's
The
because he's
world's
really
seconds.
fast. He's got good legs.
And you're like, how did that happen?
He exercised.
He literally
practiced.
went like 38 miles an hour. We know that people can't do that. And then somebody else comes along and goes, it's just a movie. Ignore that. And you're like, that's just not.
Yeah, but that's not
That's
space science. It's
unreasonable.
not real. That's like
it's
Star
okay to
Trek.
ignore space science because you're not familiar with it. But anything down here on Earth, it'd be like saying, all right, let's watch an NBA show.
And there's imaginary sci-fi.
And somebody jumps like somebody with a 7-foot vertical, and you're like,
sci-fi.
what are you doing? That's not real.
Science fiction.
All right,
Yeah,
wait a minute.
Science fiction.
Oh, Larry.
It's a science fiction movie.
Oh, he throwing up the timeout sign.
Did you ever see the movie The
You
Rookie?
see that on a podcast, right?
I did
Wait,
not.
what?
Okay.
Wait, which movie?
The Rookie.
I didn't.
About the 12-year-old boy who
Yes!
broke his shoulder, and the way it healed, he caught a fucking home run ball, and he cranks it back, goes, "Brrrt," and he
think I-
throws a perfect strike from deep center field right into the catcher's mitt at like 99 miles an hour. You mean
Yeah.
that they couldn't do that? That's not real?
Yeah, but that movie
that
is
was
ridiculous. I mean, I didn't see that
Rookie
movie,
of the
so I
Year?
don't know.
We lost Larry. Larry ran.
I'm not saying all the movies do that, and
Come
that's
back,
my problem.
Larry. Come back.
That's my
You
problem.
just said that movie
That's
was
a-
ridiculous. That's what all movies are.
They're not all ridiculous. Look at a bunch of them. Even Marvel, that has superheroes, adheres to some physics.
Not in Eternals, they don't.
Not in Eternals.
Not in Eternals.
Except for-
They do that right out into the
I'm still waiting for that planet to just spin out of orbit.
Yeah.
They took all the physics books, put it in a pile, and pissed on them.
I guess
They're
that-
coming out with an Eternals too.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Why? Why would
We have
they
to see
do that?
I don't
That
know.
planet spin off into space. How are they going
Well,
to fix it?
It better be 2 hours of that, or I'll be disappointed.
I get, look,
Trust me, it's Eternals 2. You're already disappointed.
once you start putting
You're
real
pre-disappointed.
stuff, like once you start putting like real theories into movies and going, well, I don't understand, that physically can't be possible. No shit, that can't
That's
be
why it's
possible.
a
That's why
movie.
it's an entertaining movie.
No, let me.
It's
You're right.
science
You're
fiction.
right. Let me just preface what I was trying to say is that I am okay, and in this movie, I was okay watching it, and it's fine. I was okay with it. But I'm saying if you want to be accurate, here are the numbers, right? But that's okay. But you can't. You have to be. There's suspension of disbelief within a certain margin of error, right? You could say, let's show a movie about a kid with a 45-inch vertical, right? It's within the realm of possibility. It'd be exceptional, but it's something you've kind of seen before. Not like, let's not give them an 8-foot vertical. You're like,
But doesn't it depend
what's
on the
going on
person
here
that's just
exactly,
suspending
right?
disbelief?
Unless
But
that
because
show,
I would-
but wait,
didn't
unless
bother me at
that
all.
show is about a kid who is special and can jump 8 feet high, that's great. But if the show is about car races and it just so happens that the son of one of the car racers can jump 8 feet and nobody mentions it, and nobody sort of points it out as like, holy moly, that was crazy in the movie, then if they're all like, we all accept in this movie that everybody can jump 8 feet high, you're like, well, I don't understand.
But this movie
what's
is
going
supposed
on
to be
here.
like, it's set in the future.
I get
based
it.
on science we don't have yet.
Yeah.
They figured shit out we haven't figured out yet.
Yes.
They're traveling at the speed of light, which we can't do yet.
Right.
Faster.
Faster than the speed of light, which we can't do. They figured out how to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of science out there. Even in our real science, there's a lot of science we have not figured out yet.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
They're just hundreds of years ahead of us, or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly when they said this movie was.
Yeah.
But, like, they figured a lot of this shit out already.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that. I understand.
Their spacesuits are way cooler than our spacesuits.
I know, I like
Do you know what I mean?
those
Like,
Those spaceships were awesome.
with laser
Yeah.
beams on them and shit like
laser
that.
beams.
Jetpacks.
But don't forget, you have lasers. And do they do that now? You're a guy on this. Can you stop a laser and make it an actual shot? That laser's just one solid
pew.
thing. Yeah, like a
no.
G.I. Joe, fucking blue laser, red laser, pew pew.
You can
Star
send,
Wars.
You can send laser bolts.
You can.
You can do
We're
that.
getting
Yeah,
closer.
it's pretty cool. It's just a matter of like flipping it on and off at the right interval. You can do that. It's not something we need to do, right? It's not something
That doesn't matter.
We need
We
blasters.
absolutely-
We need laser
we
guns.
absolutely have laser cannons, and
Yeah, but we don't need to do half the shit we do. We do because we can. Not because we need to.
Because the human mind wills it.
That's right. I don't care if we should. We want to see if we can do it.
I think
Man
they
must
haven't
progress.
come out with like
Hence Jurassic Park.
phaser guns because bullets do the job fine, right? You don't need
But if you have
Really?
a
So
cool, though.
messier, though.
you don't need to have you don't have to use a sledgehammer to open up a walnut.
But we do it.
I know.
Because
I
we
know.
God will
can't.
do it.
Because we get drunk enough and it's a lot of fun.
I mean, but they are talking about setting up just something called Starshot, and that's where they're going to send, let's say, hundreds of, maybe thousands of little probes that they propel by shooting lasers at them. And they've got like sails. They said they put them up in space. They all open up these little light sails, and then you fire lasers at them, and And that light has impact, and it can move things, believe it or not. So they'll fire lasers at them, and that will push them towards the Alpha Centauri galaxy.
Yeah, I've heard of
and
that.
It's 4 light years away. It'll take like probably
You did the
a
math.
bunch of
How
years.
fast is that?
Pretty fast.
186,000 miles per second.
How long will it take?
But
to get
traveling at 180, they won't be traveling at 186,000 miles because that's the speed of light. But if they were traveling at the speed of light,
there?
it would
Speed
take
limit.
4
The cops
years.
come. Slow it down. Fucking slow it down a little
Just
bit.
to give you a concept of how big the freaking universe is, traveling at 186,000 miles per second, it would take them 4 years to get there. That's how far away Alpha Centauri is. 4 years traveling at 186,000 miles per
We're gonna get
second.
invaded.
That's
We're getting-
nuts.
We're getting invaded.
Traveling
This
at
is
that
bullshit.
speed,
We're
you
getting
can go
invaded. It's
from
gonna be
it
Independence
takes
Day any day.
8 minutes to get to
We're
our
poking
sun.
the angry bear out there. We're screwed. You realize that, right? We're gonna send stuff like this into space, and they're coming for us.
There's nobody out there.
They're out there. They're
no-
coming. They're coming for
I
us.
bet they're out there.
They're coming
If
for
they're,
us.
if
We're
they're
fucked.
out there,
They're out there.
they may be out there. If they are out there, they're way too far away. Unless they've developed like wormhole technology to be able to go faster than light, we'll never see them. They're way too far away.
So we have to go
Their
faster.
science is different on where they are.
I mean, science is science, is what. Our belief is that physics is physics no matter where you are in the galaxy. So, yeah, there's a possibility there's an advanced civilization that might have advanced technology. If they have
Their
the
belief is
if they have the advanced technology in order to travel faster than light, in other words, wormholes or warp drives, that kind of thing, then they could get to us in a reasonable amount of time. But if they can't,
We're fucked.
there's no way. There's no way we'll ever see them.
shit like this scares the shit out of me.
Of course, because you figure that other planets,
I think it's cool.
they've put aside the bullshit we're still dealing with.
Yeah.
They're advanced enough to pull, so now they're going for that one singular goal of, let's go explore, let's go do something, or let's go fuck somebody else up.
I mean,
That planet's full of
Laser
idiots.
cannon.
Let's go get them.
Let's go mess with them.
They seem primed for being taken over, so they can't stop fighting with
It could be that
themselves.
there are plenty of planets out there with animals that don't have the intelligence like we do,
Sure.
right? Like, if you look at our planet, we're essentially we're the only animal that has elevated to like such a degree intelligence-wise, right? Otherwise, this planet was here for thousands of years with dinosaurs, and they're not super intelligent enough to build radios and build spaceships and do that kind of stuff. So there could absolutely be lots of planets out there with animals on it that don't have the ability that we do mentally.
But do you think there are other planets? And then we're way the fuck off topic, but I don't really care. It's kind of fun. I
mean, light years.
It's space,
you were
Ron's
light
light
years.
year.
Thank you very much for pulling it back. The other thing, there's other planets that could be further ahead than us.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, their evolution
we think
kicked
we
quicker
think
or
the
in a different
universe-
way
Yeah,
than us.
yeah, 100%. We think the
They
universe.
skipped the dinosaurs, went right for the more sentient beings.
Well, it depends, right? So the universe we think is 13.7 billion years old, and so we've only the Earth is only 4 billion years old, we think, and so if you imagine that the Earth is 1/4 of the age,
age of
1/3 to
of the
1/4 of the
universe,
age
yeah.
of the universe, and we've already developed life. There's plenty of planets out there that
are
have
older.
been around 3 times as long as us, and could certainly have animals. And now, what they think though is that maybe the development of hyperintelligence, i.e., us, is not something that normally happens. So they think yes, single cellular life. They think is almost, if the situation is okay and like the environment
Planets
is
have inhabitable,
if the environment is even anywhere near normally what would support it, that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But the transition from single cell to multi-cell that would have to happen in order to create animals for us took like hundreds of thousands of years. Hundreds of thousands. It was like 260.
But these planets might be older than us.
260 galactic years. But what I'm saying is, like, it's not a transition that happens quickly or easily.
Sure.
Then that has to happen. Now you've got multicellular life. You've got animals. You've got things that are crawling around and flying around. But then the transition to hyperintelligence, like a growing brain, isn't always something that seems to happen often either, right? We're the only example on our planet. All we have is our planet to look at.
Right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there are millions of species of other animals that don't have our intelligence, and we would have had to develop it for a reason. Intelligence, our brain is very, very much a drain on. You use 20% of all of your calories just to fuel your brain every day. And so that's considered a very, very heavy burden on your body. And so nature would have had to have a reason to do that.
I'm so tired all the time.
To
I'm at 50
emphasize,
easy.
right? Yeah. And so,
Brain is taking it
I'm
over.
at 50 easy.
you know, there are plenty of animals that live and procreate very, very well without having a giant brain like us. And you know, so it's not necessary, per se.
Interesting.
Wow.
There it is.
Yeah.
All right. So
So we're special.
we are
Yeah, we
special.
are.
I always thought so.
Yay.
Some more than others. Thank you. All right. There you go. All right. So that is any Lightyear. I mean, we kind of covered it.
So
we
that's
hit the
Lightyear.
hour.
In your physics hour.
Yeah, we got a
it's
great
your
physics hour. Oh, wait a minute.
I need different exit music. I need like physics, you know.
Did you catch the part when he blows into Ivan to get it to work? Like the old
Yes,
Nintendo?
the Nintendo thing was
Yeah.
awesome.
So
That was
I
cool.
That was a
I
great call. That was
100%
fantastic.
giggled my ass off
I
when
really
I
did
saw. I was
too.
like, ha!
Yeah, he pulls
My
out the
wife was like,
Nintendo
"What?" I
cartridge
go,
and blows
"The
it to make it
Nintendo
work." That
cartridge."
was
She was
awesome.
like, even my wife, she was like, "Oh my god, that's right." I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I know, right? That's so cool." So I like that little plug in there.
It's one of the reasons I love Pixar. They do that kind of stuff really,
They
really
throw
well.
they throw in there a
ton of stuff
lot.
like that, yeah.
Like you could probably go online and like just spend
I'm sure
hours.
there's probably YouTube videos and stuff like that.
Right,
all
right.
the
With
Easter
all
eggs,
the
and
Easter eggs,
callbacks.
throwing all the one Pixar
gonna be like a
referring to
45-minute
another
video.
Pixar
I was also
movie.
I'm actually kind of hoping that we can do that, or I'll do it, or whatever. Like just with spare time, like take movies like that and just edit
And-
together
and just-
post
and
them.
just see what-
on our YouTube channel. I've been going back and putting up all of our old episodes. And then obviously dumping our new ones on there as well in a timely fashion. But eventually, I want to start getting into doing short videos.
Mm-hmm.
Those obviously get a lot more play on YouTube. I mean, long videos.
Hey, do 10 minutes, 15-minute videos.
Yeah, 5 to
Yeah.
10 minute videos on different things like
Yeah.
that. On the movies we talk about,
Yeah.
just do like different stuff like that. So we'll talk about that offline and see how we can make that happen. So super
Sounds
cool.
fun.
All right, so last final thoughts on Lightyear. Let's go around. Mila, we'll start with you.
It's cool.
Cool.
Man, it's like space and stuff.
So would you see?
Why?
Would you go to watch it again voluntarily, or unless somebody else wanted to watch it?
I'd probably try to suggest other things to watch.
Okay.
Just like if there's other things in the theater, I'd probably keep looking around.
Well, it's not in theaters anymore. Now it's on streaming.
Well, cool.
you're
Well,
at
if it's on
home.
streaming, I'll probably scroll past it.
Cece
But it
hasn't
was
seen it yet.
enjoyable.
Cece says, "Hey, let's watch this. I want to see it."
She would, but the thing is, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'd watch something else.
Just you're on your own with this one.
Because I'm like, I don't know. Like, I watched it and I was like, you know what? That was good.
Mila, it was cool, but I'd never watch it again.
Blew
Love
me
it.
away.
No.
Never
No,
watch it again.
No,
but I'd
in all
flip the
honesty,
table if I had to see it.
That's right.
in all honesty, like
Break
it
my
was,
TV.
it was enjoyable. But honest to God, I probably won't watch this movie
Gotcha.
probably ever again.
I have to watch a pop. I'm going to throw a pop figure through the TV if I have to watch this again.
Not like if someone wanted to watch it, I'd go,
You enjoy that?
all right, sure, let's watch that one. But I'd go like, you sure there's nothing else you got in your
Nothing?
mind?
You don't
No?
have, you don't have
All
a
right, sure,
He-Man
let's
or
watch.
something.
Well, let's watch
yeah,
Lightyear.
Superman 4 you can watch. Or
Like if
something
it's
like
a
that.
kid, I'll be like,
going
of
deep in
course,
the
yeah,
well.
Lightyear's the best. But yeah, I don't know.
Little Tingle
It's all right.
Cash you want to watch?
Like I'd give that out of 10. I'd give that like
That's for my guys over at the 3 Gig
6.
Dads.
6.
Like a 5 and no, you know what? 5.
Are we doing mics? Are we doing 1 out of 10? Are we doing fractions, percentages?
Well,
what
you
are we
know,
doing?
I
It's
was
a
gonna
new
give it
day.
a B, but you know,
It's a new day.
I really
and our
like-
ranking system changes
I like
constantly.
letter grades. So I'll say
you're, like,
B.
you're on a B. Okay,
Like a B, B minus.
This week it's a
area.
B. Larry,
This movie wasn't bad. It was
Lorentz?
cute. Yeah. It was a cute movie. It was exactly what it's supposed to be. I'm kind of with Mila. I'm scrolling past it. I'm not going back to watch it. Someone else says, "Hey, I want to watch it." I'm like, cool. Let me know. I'll catch you after. I'll talk in 2
let me know what
hours.
you think.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad movie. It was
Gotcha.
it was okay. It was okay.
All right, mics, numbers, letters, whatever the hell you want
Go
to use.
ahead.
Pizza
Pick
slices.
something.
I don't think
I
it's
don't
Just say a
I'm
random
gonna-
number and we'll just have to guess.
Power levels,
I know, right?
9,000.
I don't know. I'm gonna give it like a C plus B minus, kind of
Yeah.
right there.
all right.
You know?
It's a way to lay on a fence.
Yeah, you like that?
You lay on a fence. Trick is to do it face first, face down with your mouth on a post.
Wow.
Lay on
Wow.
a fence.
That's
Where did that come from?
That way you don't fall off.
dark.
Anywho.
Bro.
I liked it. I mean, I know the physics wasn't always exactly right, but I enjoyed
Way
it.
up,
supposed to
apparently.
be.
Way the fuck
I
up,
enjoyed
apparently.
it. Caveat right there. That planet or that sun they flew around could have made the difference.
Yep.
But
See? There you
And
go.
again, the
So
planet.
your math sucks.
Don't worry. And also
math didn't
the
account for it,
planet.
you're right.
The planet that they live on. The planet that
So-
they're living on, they're aging differently.
Sure. But I mean, everything was
Grabbing.
relative within their environment. But I enjoyed it. I like it a lot. I thought it was what I expected it to be. Having like 2 young boys when they are ready to see it, like I'll definitely see it again with them.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem with that. And and they want to watch shows that are absolutely awful, and I gotta sit through those, and I'm like, oh my god, this is such garbage.
Yeah, we're still on Coco Melons and Baby Shark at my house.
Oh, we got away from that. You're so lucky.
Shoot me
lucky
in the
you.
face with the Coco Melons.
But I would watch it again with them, and I would be comfortable having them see it many times because it feels like it was a good enough movie, and the animation was nice, and it introduces them to physics, which I'm absolutely cool with. You know what I mean?
Oh, Christ, you're gonna be in the background correcting them. That is not how it works, son.
Look, getting off topic for a second, I bought my kids when they were younger. There's like baby books that are like teach your baby physics, but it's like in the form of it's really just like here's a ball and it's teaching them like it just uses physics words in the regular everyday. But I thought they were absolute shit. So if you're out there and you're thinking about buying one of those physics for babies books, save your money.
Well, I mean, look, I don't want to.
Save your money.
I'm not a parent.
I need to stick you and my father-in-law in a room together. He loves physics.
Oh, nice.
You guys could talk for hours. It'd be
Nice.
great.
I'm
My
not a
mother-in-law will
parent.
appreciate it. He tries to do it to her. He tries to talk to her about the physics stuff he's reading. She's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Leave me alone.
I'm not a parent, so I'm the least to tell anybody any parental advice. But trying to teach a 2-year-old about physics I just think is what? When you really
No.
They can't even figure out colors yet.
Let me explain, right? So right now, a lot of the books that you get for babies and kids all say they teach you about like tractors. How many times have you, Larry, run into a tractor in real life and been like, oh my God, thank God I learned about this as a child.
So
it's not 1950 anymore. We don't live in Oklahoma, right? So
I think so. You just said we don't live in Oklahoma.
Listeners just went downhill. Thank you.
No, like we don't.
There's a lot more farmland.
Right, we don't live in a farmland, so
we don't live in farmland.
Oh, yeah.
So like my
I think we live in the whole
kid.
Midwest, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But on the other side of the coin, my kids see buses and trucks, and when we remodeled our home, they came in with backhoes and shit, and my kids were absolutely enthralled. So they loved it, right?
My son hasn't seen this stuff, but he loves those trucks.
But at least this book was just trying to, and I get where they were coming, it's just poorly done, but they were trying to be like, all right, let's introduce the words like velocity and speed and gravity and force.
Science, bitch.
No, just use those words, because a lot of those words you don't get introduced to until you get into a physics class. But like they're real words that you could get you start to get acclimated to, right?
I see. Okay,
and that's all that was.
Okay, gotcha.
It was what's the speed of the ball, not how fast is it going.
Okay, so it's the verbiage that they use that introduces you to more of the
still a
physics
children's book.
Okay,
yeah.
Because like in my mind, I'm like, you really want to melt this 2-year-old's brain by trying to show him physics?
No,
like what the fuck?
They weren't like 4 sequels mass times acceleration.
It's like, wait,
it wasn't
what?
like that. Yeah, no.
All right, so now it makes more sense.
Yeah.
And that being
They were
said,
just using
the
the
book
words.
sucked.
And
The book sucks.
you're the ones
Fair
that
enough.
changed my diaper. Great.
Yeah. Oh, Dad, not again.
I'll just stay with the shitty diaper if you don't mind. Is Mom here? Because otherwise I'm staying with the shitty diaper.
Dad, I don't care about momentum right now. I don't
Screw
care.
fucking momentum. I'm done. I got
talk
the
about
momentum to
inertia
shit myself.
later.
Fuck you and your inertia, Dad.
You ever seen a kid put himself down for a nap? You're about to.
Oh my God, it's good stuff.
All right,
Great
awesome.
finish.
So I did enjoy the movie. I like Bruno. When my son wants to watch it, I will happily watch it again with him. I don't know that I choose to watch it again myself.
But that's
Not because
also
it's a
nothing
bad
too.
movie.
I mean, if the kids want it, you're like, all right, I'm going to watch
Yeah.
it with my kids.
It's not. But to me,
When
it's
I
not
watch
bad.
it again on my own,
That's what I
probably
got out of this.
Yeah.
It's a great kids movie.
Yeah.
It is a good kids movie.
It is
I
fun.
personally just not.
I will see it
there are
again
plenty
with them,
of,
but
like,
I'm not going to bother watching it again.
There are plenty of
myself.
good adult movies I wouldn't watch again. I'm just like, I've seen
Sorry,
it.
I'm done.
See it.
I got to see it. I'm glad
Yeah,
I
I'm
watched
fine.
it. It was good, but I don't need to see it again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's obviously a lot of movies we go back to over and over again. Yeah, this is just not one of them,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But
I mean,
again, and I kind of wish it had done better. Like I think it's a good enough movie. I wish there's a lot of complaining about it on the web.
There's a lot of
That's the
bitching,
web, but
I don't think it was
that's
as
the
bad
web.
as people complain.
No, I don't think so
I
either.
agree.
Yeah.
I don't think so either. I think people were stuck on the Tim Allen stuff. They're stuck on what their idea of Buzz was supposed to be from Toy Story, and it was different enough for people that they just kind of pissed and moaned and whined about it. But that's welcome to the internet.
The whole way through the movie, I was like, what are people complaining about? This is not bad.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I mean, I thought
Yeah.
the only issue, and I know we're kind of going back into it, like the ending with them running around the Zorg ship. there wasn't enough of a drama for that to me. It was like there's like hundreds of these robots and like 3 are chasing them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what I did
But it
appreciate?
activated all that shit.
You know how they took those little like
The
teleport
transporters,
buttons?
yeah.
That was good.
That was
That was
good.
really
That was a
clever,
really
right?
cool
They were
way to
like,
use
boom,
them.
boom, for quick access later. I was like, yes.
They
That's
even
that
had it,
equivalent
like, going
of
down
pick up the
and,
fucking
like,
gun.
teleport
Yeah,
down,
that
That's
was-
what that is.
like a portal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was really
kept going
good.
back and
Like,
kept doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the pick up the fucking gun moment.
Yes.
Where the bad guy drops the gun and the good guy never picks up the gun.
Right.
Like, you have one. He's going to
You
run out
have
of
one,
bullets.
yeah.
Pick up the other one, too.
Pick up the gun.
Pick up the gun.
Yeah.
That's what they did. They picked up the gun.
No, that was good.
cool, so
I like that. Yeah,
I did like
I
that.
picked that up.
All right, gang,
Yeah.
that is it. That is Lightyear from Pixar, streaming now on Disney Plus. Go watch it. Enjoy it at least one time.
It was good.
It was
Yeah.
fun. All right, so let's thank everybody. Thank you, Mila.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bruno.
You're mocking me, aren't you?
Yeah, always. All right, everybody. We are Entertainment Rants at entertainmentrants.com. Please drop us a line at engage at entertainmentrants.com. Engage with us on our social media at Entertainment Rants. Throw us a review on the Apple Podcast. We'd love to be able to read it on the podcast itself. Beyond that, everybody, what are we going to do?
Let's rant.
Let's
I suppose we
rant.
could rant.
I suppose so.